Hi everyone, and welcome back to Lesson 6 of the New York School of Design's Intro to Digital Design. My name is Vidal Cyperly Valencia, and I'm a fashion designer here in New York City. So I'm actually going to get into a little bit on how to improve your top flats when you're drawing a top or a blouse or a shirt, and some ways in which you can really create really high quality looking flats that have a lot of life and a little bit more dimension to them. And I really wanted to just show you some examples of how you can make quick improvements to really basic flats or basic sketches and how to make them look a little bit better, a little more polished, a little bit higher quality, and how to make them look a little more professional. So one thing I want to impart is really paying attention to the fabric quality. And so you can see these sort of represent the same garment, but this one on the left is much more flat, whereas this one on the right, you can really see how the sleeve is performing. It's collapsing, it's drop shoulder. You can see in the hem that it's not like fitted to your body and that there's this little wave of the hem that is showing that it has a little bit of a flow to it. So the sweep of the garment is a little bit wider. And so with this one, you can kind of gather some of that information, but in terms of this being a solid representation, in terms of like, would you show this during the design meeting or to a buyer, something like this is going to be more attractive, even though something like this, in some cases, could still be useful for showing like the flat pattern shape. So while this does have its merits, we just want to update it a little bit, and it's not going to look exactly like this with these adjustments, but this is going to just be a little quick tutorial utilizing many of the tools that we've used before to create something that has a little bit more life to it, has a little bit more of your personality depending on your sketch style. And so we're just going to go ahead and make some adjustments. I'm just going to delete the stitch line right now because it's not really doing much. I'm going to select with our direct selection tool the body, and I'm going to go ahead and add some points. I'm going to add some points along the hem, and then I'm going to take my direct selection tool again, and I'm just going to drag these points. As you can see, there were maybe a couple already, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the points that were added or were already there, and we're just going to kind of drag them up and down a little bit. And you want to be careful with this because you can obviously over-represent something. Like if you add too much wave to the hem, it's going to look like is this pleated or is there something going on down here? But really, in terms of just simplifying this, we can take the anchor point tool that we've used before, and we can just make this into a curve. And we can also do the same for these. And so that is already at least giving a little bit more of a suggestion as to a little bit of flow within the garment. Like I said, this is not going to look exactly like this, but you can take something like this. You could then copy using the direct selection tool and just select all of these sections of this line. Copy, we're going to paste, and then we're going to go ahead, we're going to paste. We're going to make sure this is one piece, so we're going to go to Object, Path, Join. So now this is all one piece. We're going to take the fill away, and we're going to go back up here to your stroke, and this is where we're going to make it a dotted line, make it a little finer. And now you have something that is following your path for your hem a little bit. And when you get into more advanced sketching, you could create just a little rogue line like this. And we can make some adjustments to make it like that. And so that way it has a little bit of flow to it. Additionally, you can show the back here. That's kind of a personal preference sometimes. If the back is lower or different, of course, you'd want to show that. But otherwise, that is just a way that you can give this a little bit more life. And we can talk about some shadows later on. We talk about improving your flats. And in terms of like the sleeve here, we can do the same thing in terms of adding some points just along the way in order to really demonstrate the ways in which maybe the sleeve is collapsing. We can take the same method of just adding some lines like this, some stray lines. And we can utilize different tools or different stroke widths or different profiles in order to make things look like, oh, there's like a little bit of dimension here, or there's something being shirred into the cuff, or we want to show that the neck is collapsing a little bit because it's like a really comfortable, cozy, tall turtleneck on a sweater or something like that. So I'm just making some more adjustments. I'm utilizing a lot of the different tools we've talked about so far. And again, you can just add some certain design lines, drag lines that allow you to show more of the behavior of the fabric. Obviously, some fabrics are going to behave certain ways, others are going to behave in different ways. You want to make sure that you're just really paying attention to what you want everything to look like, and you want to make sure it's making sense in terms of what you're designing. You don't want to show like pleather collapsing in a way that it wouldn't, or cotton plain weave collapsing in a way that it wouldn't. But that is just one way of sort of demonstrating how to make the hem and the fabrication look a little bit more soft and a little bit more lifelike.